Another important module to the Prism setup are your users. Just like your other modules, you simply go to the User tab in Administration, and you can either select it here from the main menu, or you can go up to the Administration tab and come down to User Administration, select it, and it will take us directly into the User Administration menu. You notice here that we have several users in place. Now our user IDs kind of revolve around job descriptions such as accounting or dispatch, maintenance, sales, system admin. Users can be a person, users can be a description of a job. So in this case, let's go ahead and add a user by the name of Bob. Once again, just use lowercase, select new, and you'll notice that Bob has now been opened in our editor. We want to edit Bob. And here's how we build Bob's user file. Bob's user ID is selected by the name that you just gave it. He's either active or he's inactive. In this case, we're going to leave him as active. He is a new user. And we're going to give him a new password, an easy one to remember. Here you would include Bob's contact name, his contact phone number, his contact email. In addition, you'll see the notify email here. Similar to the account page, Bob is a notification person. He can receive notifications from the complete system. Any alerts, any rule violations. This is where Bob is included as a notify email. GMT is the default time zone. Well, Bob is going to be in the U.S. Central as well as everybody else. So let's just get him up here into the U.S. Central time zone. He does not have to be in the same time zone as the master of the account or system admin or even the home offices. He can be in whatever time zone he is personally located in. You add his personal address, city, state. What office is he assigned to? Office location. Remember we talked about our groups and fleets. What groups or fleets is Bob authorized to have access to? And here when you select, you'll notice you have all the different fleets available that Bob has access to. Maybe we just want him to see the Toyotas. What do you want his first login page to be? The main menu, which is typical to some. Maybe the device map or a fleet map. In this case, the fleet map would be the Toyotas, or detail reports and fleet reports. Well, let's go ahead and give him fleet map access. Which is his preferred vehicle? Well, since he's looking at the fleet map, he's going to see all of the vehicles within that fleet. But if we were to put him into the main menu, we would have the option of giving him a preferred vehicle that would always come up as the vehicle he's looking at first. Any general notes about Bob the administrator would put in here. Now it gets into the fun part. Bob has maximum access level by default, which means new or delete. Well, perhaps you don't want Bob being able to do anything to any of the permanent files in the system. In that case, you would give him read view access only. His ACL role, which is his automatic user access controls, here would be none in this case, but we also have some set up as we had in the past, such as a billing or a consumer. Perhaps he's a dispatcher. Well, maybe he's an executive, operations manager. Maybe he's a traffic manager. These roles define what permissions Bob has to access the system. We'll leave it at none. These user access control menu now, from here down, you'll see where you have account administration. The default value is read view. He can see the account administrator, but he can't do anything with it. Now he has the option of writing or editing in it, read view, no access to it, or just the default. There are 160 permissions here that you have the ability to sort through to give Bob access to or deny him access to the various data components, the various fields, administrators, rule and alert generation capabilities. Take time to go through this with your first one or two users, and look at the granularity of what you are able to pre-select for your users. You will find that it's not going to be a problem at all. It's all very user-friendly. For instance, right here you have device administration SMS commands. Do you want Bob to be able to write and edit SMS commands? Or do you want him to have no access at all? It's just that simple. Each one of these controls a portion or a module within the system, and by eliminating Bob's ability to access certain fields, you are not limiting anyone else's. By the same token, giving him access and permission does not mean anyone else has access and permission. This is all user-specific information, user-specific permissions. These are only Bob's. So, just to briefly recap, when you're setting up your users, obviously you have your name, contact information. What time zone is he in or operating in? What office? His address. What fleets does he have access to? What do you want him to see when he first logs into the system? Do you have a preference as to what equipment that he pays attention to immediately? What notes would you have in your file that would be pertinent to Bob? Does he have the ability to read, view, write, edit, or add and subtract equipment from the files? And what permissions, what access do you give Bob into the system? That's how we set up users. You can have as many users as you want. You can have as few users as you want. The system has absolutely no limit whatsoever.